It's a well-known fact that the dating world can be tough for men. However, what about those men who, despite their best efforts, just can't seem to get anywhere with the women that they want? For many of these men, the answer lies in their personality type. Most guys are oblivious when it comes to understanding women. They either try way too hard, or they just give up too quick and ignore them altogether. To be honest, the majority of men would have better luck if they just gave up the chase and stopped trying. However, for some men, this isn't an option. Men of high value are a rare breed of man, who have learned how to navigate the dating world without all the drama and BS that comes with it. They are the ones who always seem to have their pick of the litter, no matter what they look like, or how much money they make. And while you may think that these guys have it easy, the truth is that they know a lot more about women than the average guy does. So with that said, here are 8 reasons why high-value men ignore women. Number 1. They have an incredibly busy life. When you have a career, friends, family and hobbies, life can get overwhelmingly busy at times for some people. If you're not good at managing your time well, things can easily get away from you. And while some people might see this as an excuse to avoid social interaction, high-value men use their time as a reason to focus on the things that are really important to them. They know they can't be everything to everyone, so they choose to focus their energy on the things that matter most. And in some cases, women just don't make the cut. This doesn't mean that these men don't want a relationship, however, they are not going to pursue one if it means sacrificing their other commitments. They'd rather have a few close friends and family members, than a bunch of people in their lives who they don't really know or care about. The same goes for women. They would rather have one genuine woman in their life, than a bunch of fake women with whom they don't really have a connection. Number 2. Too many fake women. These days, it seems like everywhere you turn there's another woman trying to impress you with her fake boob job, fake hair color and fake eyelashes. And while there's nothing wrong with a little bit of makeup, it's important to remember that beauty is only skin deep. Unfortunately, too many women rely on their looks to get by, and neglect their personality altogether. They don't bother to develop any other aspects of their persona, and they come across as shallow and superficial. Society plays a big role in this, as women are constantly bombarded with messages that they need to look a certain way in order to be considered attractive. But at the end of the day, it's their decision, because no one is forcing them to do it. However, most women would rather take the easy way out, and just rely on their looks. Looks aren't everything, and high-value men are not going to waste their time with a woman who's all surface and no substance. They want a well-rounded and interesting woman, not just someone who looks good on their arm. Of course, not all women are like this, but the majority are. And when you're constantly surrounded by fake women, it's easy to see why high-value men would start to ignore them altogether. They'd prefer real and authentic women, since those are the ones who will add something valuable to their lives. When it comes to women, these men would rather have quality over quantity. Number 3. Some women are just not worth the trouble. While most men see women as a conquest, high-value men see them as individuals. They are not shy to call out BS when they see it, and they are not afraid to walk away from a woman who's not worth their time. There are plenty of women out there who are nothing but drama and hassle, and these sorts of men have no problem ignoring them. They'd rather focus their energy on intelligent women, since it's not worth it to try and change a drama queen. Not to mention it's just plain tiresome, and high-value men know they have better things to do with their time. Of course, this doesn't mean that they are perfect. They just know when it's time to move on. Number 4. They are not desperate men. One of the most obvious reasons why high-value men ignore women is because they are not desperate. They don't feel the need to chase after every woman they see, because there are too many women in the global sexual market. High-value men don't need to settle for just any woman. They can afford to be picky and choosy. While most men are out there desperately trying to score with any woman they can get their hands on, these men are content to wait for the right one. This wait-and-see attitude often leads to better relationships in the long run, because both parties are more invested from the outset. Number 5. They are not afraid to be single. Some men might see being single as a shortcoming. However, high-value men know that it's not always a bad thing. In fact, there are some benefits to being single that they quite enjoy. For example, they don't have to answer to anyone, and they can do whatever they want, whenever they want. They can come and go as they please, and they don't have to worry about anyone else's needs or wants. Of course, being in a relationship has its own set of advantages. However, high-value men aren't afraid to be single. They know that it's not the end of the world, and they are perfectly content with their own company. Number 6. There isn't a mutual interest of attraction. High-value men can spot a woman who's not interested in him from a mile away. And while some men might see this as a challenge, these men understand when it's time to move on. They are not going to waste their time chasing after someone who's not interested, because it's never going to work out in their mind. It's just not worth it. If you put your heart and soul into something and the other person doesn't reciprocate, it's only natural to feel upset and disappointed. High-value men will never bet on something they know they are going to lose. This is why they are usually the ones who walk away first. They know when it's time to move on, and they are not afraid to do so. There's nothing worse than pouring your heart out to someone, and having them not feel the same way about you. It's an unfortunate reality that we all have to face at some point or another, and it's especially difficult when it comes to romantic relationships. Number 7. Their standards are really high. Some people might see men of high value as being picky, or having unrealistic standards. However, the truth is, they just know what they want. And in some cases, women simply don't measure up. These guys are looking for a woman who meets their standards in all areas of life, including intelligence, personality, looks and more. They are not willing to settle for anything less, since they know what they deserve. So if you're wondering why high-value men seem to be ignoring women, it might be because they don't meet their standards. Some women might see this as being shallow or judgmental, but these men would rather be alone than with someone who's not right for them. We often see too many people in relationships where they are not truly happy, because they've settled for someone who's not a good match. This is why it's so important to know what you want. If you settle for less just to be in a relationship, you're only setting yourself up for disappointment. Of course, there are always exceptions to the rule, and men of high value might find themselves attracted to a woman who doesn't meet all of their standards. But in general, they are not going to pursue a relationship with someone who's not a good fit for them. Not because they just don't care, but because they know that it's not going to work out in the long run. Number 8. They require a lot of space. Men of high value find it hard to share their inner thoughts when they are young, because they are constantly on an inward search for who they are and what type of life they want. They feel like their inner voice is more important than the outside noise, and this is why they find it difficult to commit, while they are on their path to becoming high value. They may lose interest in women, because they are not ready for a relationship. However, this is only temporary. Once they find their path in life, they will commit to the right woman. They may need a lot of alone time in order to discover who they are, and what they want, but this is not to say they are wallowing in self-pity or laziness. They are simply focused on the long term rather than the short term, and this focus often results in intense self-reflection.